you need an attorney to apply for you. If you're intelligent, detail-oriented, and you're willing to take the time to learn what you need to do with proper preparation, you don't need an attorney. However, if any of the following happens, you should at least consult with an attorney before you file. For example, the trips that you made out of the U.S. for over 6 months. If immigration believes, as I said before, that it breaks the continuity requirement, they're going to take your fee, say thank you very much, they'll deny your application, and you can refile again. You can file multiple times, as long as you're not found for fraud, but it costs you $680 each time to do so. If you move to another country while you've had your green card, again, that could break the continuity requirement, and if you're out long enough, you may actually lose your green card. That actually almost happened to me. But in '96, my family moved back to Israel for the third time, and I had to relearn Hebrew. I had to come back to the United States every 11 months and 29 days, or I'd risk losing my green card. Well, I stayed a couple days extra, and they gave me a problem when I came in through Newark. I said, look, I'm coming here, I live here, I'm coming back to move here. They let me in. Sometimes they catch it, sometimes they don't. I've heard stories where people came in after a few years. And I've heard stories, now the law since changed, now it's 6 months. Back then it was just under a year. After 9/11, they made it more difficult. If you haven't supported your children, as I said before, if you have minor children from your current relationship or a prior relationship and there's a child support order, or even if there isn't a child support order, if you don't support your child, you're not a good moral person, you can be denied. If you didn't register for selective service, again, not a good moral person because you're not playing within the rules. If you're on probation or if you were convicted of a crime, you have to consider your criminal background. Now, if you provided contradictory information, what I mean by that, when you're applying for citizenship, it presumes you've already applied for your green card. When you go to the interview, the official will have all of your information, everything you've ever submitted, every application you've ever had, they have access to. If you said one thing on one application, and in another you said something completely different, they presume you're lying. They're looking for any indication that supports that belief. If you can't answer it, or if it's sometimes an honest mistake, it depends on the official. You never know who you're going to get, but you can't provide contradictory information. If the example I give is when a United States citizen marries somebody from abroad and wants to bring him in. If they file an application based on marriage, and that person goes to the interview and says, I want to go to college, I'm coming for a student visa, I don't know this guy. I mean, that's a clear problem. You'd be surprised at things you hear. People get nervous and they say the first thing that comes to their head. And afterwards, it's very hard to take back. So, it should go without saying, but if you ever lied or committed fraud to get your green card, maybe you shouldn't apply for your citizenship. Maybe you should just be thankful that you got it. Just because you have your green card, let's say immigration made a mistake. They can correct that mistake at the interview. So if they find evidence, let me take a step out. Once you become a United States citizen, there's only one way to lose it, and that's if you got it through fraud. Green card or permanent residency, there's a variety of ways to lose it. And every time they have immigration reform, they expand the list of things that can cause you to lose your green card. It's one reason why when someone is eligible, they should file as soon as possible. The costs only go up, and the ways to lose it only increase over time. But just because you got the green card does not mean you're entitled to it forever. If immigration finds a mistake afterwards, whether it's fraud or something else, they can put you in proceedings to remove it. If you've ever been arrested or convicted of a crime, I've said that 4 times, so I'm going to move on. If you help someone enter the United States, even if it was a relative, let's say you have a relative who in Mexico or entered through Mexico, you paid for it, you supported it, and you admitted to that. Well, that's a problem. That may prevent you from, if you admit that, and if immigration knows about it, that may prevent you from ever gaining a legal status or a green card in the United States. Domestic violence, child abuse, child neglect, that's a big no-no for immigration. If you treat your spouse or your loved one badly, chances are you have anger issues, maybe there's alcohol abuse, you're going to have a hard time gaining citizenship. You're going to have to show that was a long time ago. You're going to have to show you're a different person. You're going to have to convince them that that was an aberration. That was one day, one event, trying circumstances, and today you're a different person. Because if you don't successfully show that, you will be denied. If you've ever voted illegally, you're not getting any legal benefit. Illegal gambling, prostitution, habitual drunkard, drug abuser, drug addict. Again, those all go towards the qualities that immigration does not want to invite into their VIP section.